Sea otters and giant river otters are like if someone got two artists to design a giant otter, but ended up with two very different ideas on what they should look like, because one draws Hello Kitty fan art, and the other was a nihilist. Oh, he's so cute. He loves Hello Kitty. Oh gosh. Okay, but like, seriously. You've got these death-killing things, they look horrible, and then these cute little guys with their paws, they just touch their face. This looks like sea otters reacting to the incredible violence of a river otter. Imagine if you locked Light Yagami and Patrick Bateman in a room together. They would be having the most generic conversation, but you wouldn't be able to hear it over the sound of their overlapping internal monologues. There would just be a few minutes where their few monologues would both play in sync to say something misogynistic. True story, by the way. Me, for the first 33 years of my life, my dad used to say, "What would happen if you woke up on the Titanic? Think about it." When he was tucking me in at night from at least 5 and up, a form of psychological torture. Me in my 33rd year of life. My dad optimistically thought I would have $250,000 to blow in something stupid by now and just shut it down at the jump in the 90s. Thanks for scaring me with the Titanic when I was little, so I never spent $250,000 exploding in a glorified Pringles can at the bottom of the ocean. You're welcome. I knew it. What are your robot serial numbers? Literally, what the hell is the Lego movie? I've only seen GIFs and they all make it look like completely separate things that they can't possibly be one plot. It's like Toy Story on cocaine, and it's great. I love the Lego movie. All the Lego movies are great, right? Lego Batman is the best. In the mid-2000s, there was a brief fad in Australian government messaging where they went out of their way to insult the public as much as possible. Hey Tosser, please take it with you. There's a rubbish bin at every station. Get your together. Buckle up or pay $401. Don't drive like a country roads need safe drivers. Speeding? No one thinks big of you. Don't be a butthead. A flick of the wrist can spark a fire. Don't throw cigarette butts out of car windows. It is idiotic and it is illegal. If you drink, then drive, you're a bloody idiot. Drink, drive, die in a ditch. This fad eventually died out after the tourism board attempted the same style of messaging in the UK, causing a minor scandal which led to the head of Tourism Australia, Scott Morrison, getting the sack. The first time we drove past the "Don't drive like a rooster" sign, my mum looked at it and was immediately so confused. After all, she's a good semi-conservative Christian woman. My brother and I knew it right away, but for the next half hour, she guessed literally every other word. Don't drive like a rooster, chicken, hen, chick, bird, fowl, poultry, trying to make her damn hardest to make the sign make sense until my, at the time, 11-year-old brother got fed up and yelled at the top of his lungs from the back seat. My mum was furious. We weren't even allowed to say heck until she realized he'd just been telling her what the sign was. And for the rest of the 3-hour trip, our good semi-conservative Christian mother proceeded to amuse herself by muttering under her breath and giggling like a teenager every time she did. We still bring it up every now and then, so that particular advertising campaign has been making my family laugh for over a decade. 3,500 years ago, a bunch of people decided to build a tower to the sky, and now I have to worry about keeping up my Duolingo streak. Why would you blame the people reaching for heaven instead of the God who cursed them? Add that one to the list, boys! Why the hell is there a big spider on my bedroom wall? It doesn't look like any spider I've ever seen in my entire life. What the hell? Are you sure it's a spider? Yes, I am. It looks like this. See? That's a wolf spider. They taste like celery and pork, and they aren't poisonous. Why is it in my room? And why do you know what it tastes like? Man, why do you know what a wolf spider tastes like? Nom nom. What? Yummy yummy in my tummy. Why did you eat a wolf spider? Bandcamp 2019. There was an infestation. I started eating them to get rid of them. I've since eaten cockroaches, crickets, grasshoppers, and those little green grass spiders.
The greenies taste like vegetarian sausage.
Why was your solution to eat them? I mean, no one else was gonna. What? Thinking of getting into the wedding industry, where I offer my services to brides with overbearing families, and my job will be to remind everyone else it is not their wedding. I can do passive-aggressive, private aside with a vaguely threatening air, or just telling them to shut the hell up in front of everyone. The plan is you tell them I'm your fiance's estranged stepsister, so they'll even sympathize with you for being stuck with me, instead of hate you when I tell them no one wants to hear about why they rudely disagree with your veiled choice. I will hire your services at my wedding, thanks. Oh, I do this for free, as long as there's food at the reception for me. Sorry, but if your bed isn't against at least one wall, you're not valid. I used to think this post was stupid because most people like both sides of the bed free, but then I realized some psychopaths put their bed like this, so not even the headboard is against a wall, and this post is about these animals. Oh my gosh, what? Your pillow's just gonna fall backwards. A single person's bed is generally against two walls, a couple's bed is generally against one wall, and people with zero walls have no fear of the dark unseen with direct access to their head, and therefore cannot be human. Okay, the bed just down in the middle of the room is bad, but have you considered only the footboard and against a wall? No, I hadn't. Why would you put that image into my head? Ugh. Growing up with siblings, making sure you measure everything and make sure it's level. My little brother would get 2-liter bottles of orange soda, my absolute favorite, and every time he had some, mark the level on the bottle with a Sharpie because he was convinced I was going to steal it. So I'd pour myself a glass and top off the 2-liter with water. One night, I knew my brother was going to drink the rest of my Coke can, so I finished it off, poured soy sauce in it, then went to bed. I could hear his disgust all the way from there, and it was sweet, sweet vengeance. One of my students downloaded an image for a project today and named it Before My Eyes png.jpg. My eyes just started blinking independently of each other as I tried to process this. I feel like this should belong on r/Mad Lads. That's crazy. I got fired. This is the dude that hired the clown. I love that you could just say this is the dude that hired the clown and everyone immediately knows what you're talking about. Do you guys remember this? The guy who ordered a clown for emotional support? One of my favorite things I've learned about animal studies is that you should avoid using colorful leg bands when you're banding birds because you can accidentally completely skew the data because female birds prefer males with colorful bands. Apparently, if you put a red band on a male red-winged blackbird, his harem size can double. So like you can completely frick up the natural reproduction of a group of birds by giving a guy a bracelet so stylish that females cannot resist him. Me putting a red bracelet on the leg of a male red-winged blackbird. Oh god, we're gonna get you some girls, bro. I remember reading a study where researchers realized that female birds of a certain species preferred males with a darker breast. So they created what they literally called a super sexy male by catching a male and coloring his chest with a marker. They then ran DNA tests on the eggs in the area. Previously, when the researchers had run these tests, they found a certain amount of infidelity was common for these birds. Somewhere around 10% of eggs were fathered by males who were not the primary mates of females. After the advent of the super sexy male, however, stuff got crazy in bird world. Infidelity skyrocketed, with upwards of 25% of all eggs in the area being fathered by this specific male. Furthermore, his mate's eggs were 100% his. This is just insane to me. Just imagine you're living your bird life when someone suddenly scribbles on Dave's chest and the ladies can't stop throwing themselves at him. It's stupid that we theoretically can't wreak this kind of havoc on an ecosystem. Does anyone want to color my chest? I once won first place in my university's poker AI competition. We had 2 hours to build a bot, and first place was a new MacBook. I was a freshman and had no idea what I was doing. My algorithm was literally, if is my turn, go all in. I broke all the other bots who started folding every single time. Everyone else made AIs, but only OP was playing poker. Listen, I know each actor brings their own spice to a role, but I just can't take Timothée Chalamet's Wonka seriously. Where is the madness behind his eyes? The malice? The complete disregard for the laws of mankind and decency? This man makes me fear that I'll be shoved into a tapping machine at the slightest provocation. As he should. Honestly, I'm scared of Johnny Depp's the most. This is scary. Did you know that proper pearl necklaces actually have knots between each pearl? This is done to stop the pearls from rubbing up against each other, potentially causing damage and discoloration to each bead. And also so that if the string breaks, it's unlikely that any more than 1 or 2 pearls will fall off the string. Pearl necklaces, and bracelets for that matter, need restringing regularly to make sure that string isn't stretched, frayed, or otherwise damaged, which would put the necklace at risk of breaking. And when they are restringed properly, new knots are always tied between each pearl. This post was brought to you by the Stop Making Pearls Scatter Everywhere Whenever You Break a Fancy Lady's Necklace When Murdering Her Thriller Writers. All you're doing is revealing she was wearing crappy plastic beads. Gang. But the drama... Not to being a drooling socialist idiot, but if a full day's labor can't purchase 3 square meals, 24 hours worth of rent and utilities, a fraction of a month's clothing budget, and a reasonable portion to be saved for when you can no longer comfortably work, what the hell are we doing things for? Welcome to our world. My sister saw two unaccompanied little children in a trench coat giggling amongst themselves yesterday, and I am absolutely howling. I see one fully functional adult and two photos. What's the joke?
I can't believe Americans on TV really say rock, paper, scissors. Like, it's paper, scissors, rock. Oh my gosh, do you IRL Americans actually say rock, paper, scissors? Reblog this with whatever you say. Paper, scissors, rock, or rock, paper, scissors.
Me normally. Linguistic differences are so interesting and cool. I love hearing different dialectal variations. Me reading paper, scissors, rock with my own two eyeballs. The Lord is testing me. In Australia, we play scissors, paper, rock, and I think it's better than everyone else's, so